The other night I was scrolling through Threads and was startled by a post that read, and I'll paraphrase, "I won't read any post on here that has art from Mid-Journey. That's a red flag. I won't have anything to do with folks who cheat by using AI." Several folks chimed in with very judgmental replies, condemning authors who use ChatGPT, expressing their superiority for never touching it, absolutely convinced that they would never. Let's get into the ethics of ChatGPT for authors in this episode of Writing Pursuits. Hey, Writing Pursuits authors, welcome back to the podcast. To those of you who are new, I want to extend a special welcome. My name is Kathrese McKee, and I'm glad you're here. If you are a writer seeking encouragement, information, and inspiration, this podcast is for you. Let's get to it. Before I get started, let me refer you to last week's interview with Jay Thorne about his book, Co-Writing with ChatGPT, as more background for today's topic. You'll find that at writingpursuits.com/podcast or on your favorite podcast platform. Artificial intelligence, AI, is my nominee for Buzzword of the Year, and maybe it will be the buzzword of the decade. Many people are afraid of artificial intelligence in all its forms. Admittedly, AI has great potential to be dangerous. After all, the emergence of the internet brought unknown dangers with it. Social media platforms harmed us in ways we couldn't foresee. Every time a new technology emerges, people get hurt. How many people have died in automobiles and airplanes, submersibles? Is it too soon? Oh, sorry. Hopefully we can avoid another submersible fiasco. This is why I'm not stressing over the natural progression of AI. Danger is inherent to progress. The best we can do as we learn about AI and its dangers is to develop safety rails. Artificial intelligence was inevitable. Consider human history, especially history since the Industrial Revolution. Mechanization was followed by energization, followed by mass communications and digitization of information. In my opinion, every step was inevitable. Digitization inevitably led to big data, which inevitably led to artificial intelligence. If you think of big data as a geode, the kind of rock that's ugly on the outside with pretty crystals on the inside, then artificial intelligence is the machine to crack the data geode and reveal its value. Authors who are tempted to follow the Luddite path of resistance, e.g. smashing textile machines, need to learn from history. The tech is here to stay and will only grow more sophisticated. Pandora already opened the AI box. It's too late to stuff the AI troubles and woes back inside. What about plagiarism? This is a valid question and top of mind for every author. First, let's talk about how ChatGPT works in a simplistic way, because that's all I know. AI technology like ChatGPT is based on large language models, LLMs, which utilize algorithms to parse trillions of written examples to learn, quote unquote, how to respond to conversational prompts. It uses math to predict what is required. It bases its results on the material it has been given to process. The use of copyrighted material to feed the LLMs is being litigated, so stay tuned on that topic. Is plagiarism possible? Yes, but I think it is statistically improbable. The sheer breadth of sampling that goes into LLMs makes plagiarism an unlikely outcome. I mean, avoid prompts like, quote, "in the style of famous author," unquote. That's not helpful to you, and it's probably not ethical. Your voice is your treasure, so don't be a sellout. Keep in mind that AI returns what it predicts you want to see instead of researched, peer-reviewed, verified information. In fact, it will manufacture information. This has happened to me in my experiments while using ChatGPT. And worse, LLMs could return disinformation depending on which sources have been fed to it. That's a dark dystopian thought, isn't it? There's a Russian proverb that Suzanne Massey made famous during the Cold War. Trust but verify. You are responsible for verifying any information you receive from ChatGPT. It's not built for truth. It can only attempt to parse the information it has. Do not rely on ChatGPT and its kin or any of the alternatives to return valid research results when asked a search engine question. Also, ChatGPT doesn't cite its sources, which is a problem. It's a predictive algorithm, remember? What about academic cheating? Students will take every advantage of any opportunity to reduce the rigor of higher education. Educators must decide soon how to incorporate AI engines like ChatGPT into academic work, because AI isn't going away and cheating is a thing. I expect academic institutions will establish guidelines for transparency and ethical ways to use AI, and I really hope that includes rigorous peer review procedures as well as appropriate citations and disclosure statements. We want academic researchers to have the best tools, including the tool to crack the geode of big data, but we need transparency too. Google is already working on using AI to predict which information users will find most useful. I expect this trend to continue using AI technology. And what about intellectual property? Midjourney and other AI image generators are beyond the scope of this discussion, as are audio generators. Even so, we must all be wary of the potential abuse of our photos, videos, and voices to create false narratives, and this is a special concern for celebrities. So please don't think I'm all in on AI. I urge you to take a measured, cautious approach without hitting the panic button or passing on unfounded conspiracy theories. Most folks don't know what to think. Some authors, as I've said, have taken a hard line against using AI for anything. Overall, I think that's premature. They like to blame ChatGPT for all the chaos at Amazon, but authors were experiencing decreasing sales and reduced visibility and the glut of books on Amazon before ChatGPT. Transparency is essential. If you use AI while developing your content, be upfront about it. In AI for Authors, Practical and Ethical Guidelines by the Alliance of Independent Authors, Ally set forth their ethical guidelines. I'm sorry, I said guidelines twice. I highly recommend this entire article, by the way, and that will be in the show notes. I do not want to duplicate their efforts, but there's a quote from the new guideline for the use of tools and AI in their ethics statement, and it's stated as an affirmation. I edit and curate the output of any tool I use to ensure the text is not discriminatory, libelous, an infringement of copyright, or otherwise illegal or illicit. I recognize that it is my job to ensure I am legally compliant, not the AI tool or service I use. I declare use of AI and other tools where appropriate. That last line is golden. I declare use of AI and other tools where appropriate. Just speak up. For example, in my post, Transcript Storytelling Revolution on writingpursuits.com, I include the note created in cooperation with ChatGPT. Be transparent. And don't be judgy. Vilifying fellow authors who choose to utilize AI applications is wrong. I wouldn't even bring this up except, I've already witnessed this judgy stance on social media. Policing other authors' story development methods is a miserable way to live. You do you. If you choose to eschew AI, that's your prerogative. If you choose to explore it, send us notes from the frontier. But transparency is essential. And finally, here are some tips to wrap us up. Don't be judgmental because we don't know what we don't know. Be transparent and ethical in your use of AI. Choose to be a lifelong learner instead of a Luddite, and verify the information you receive from ChatGPT and other AI engines. The question of the week is, what are your predictions about how authors will use AI in the future? If you want to leave a comment, you can go to writingpursuits.com/podcast/67. And that's all I have for this week. Until next week, Keep writing, my friends. Keep writing.